Hey everybody, Mark Wolf here. This video is for all of my current viewers and for everyone coming in new as well. And I wanted to address some things because I have noticed an unfortunate trend starting maybe a few videos back with how my content is engaging the community in ways that I don't like. And the way that so what's happening that I don't like is that it seems like people are too quiet. And I think what that means is that I've started alienating people. I think I've maybe overcorrected, or I don't know what I've done, but I think there's a number of factors playing into this, and it's having a lot to do with the topic itself and the nature of the message that I'm, communicating here. But at the same time, it's got regardless of that, it's got more to do with my delivery. And that's partly what I want to address here. I think what I want to do, because so much of what I do is inherently polarizing, is maybe just apologize first. Just if any so first of all, if anybody out there who's watched my content has has felt uh in some way hurt by it, or if they feel like what I'm doing is, I'm not sure how to characterize it. If the way that I've communicated my message, right or wrong, whether you agree with it or not, if what I've done sounds arrogant, if I've done things in an arrogant way that put some people off, that's something that I kind of want to apologize for, because yeah, part of what I do, like, part of any YouTube channel, being critical of things, like, there's sort of unnecessary, like you do have to kind of drum up some kind of drama in the discussion. There has to be some kind of reason for this to, like, there has to be some kind of importance. There has to be some kind of um weight to the discussion for it to be worth tuning in at all. But again, I want to start communicating this better, and I'm not sure how to do that yet, but I'm going to start trying to figure it out as I start moving in here into, because I'm still trying to figure out, like, uh, where I want to start on advanced discussions on game design. But I realized that, like, something in the back of my head was kind of nagging, and I couldn't figure out what it was for a while. But the thing I kept coming back to was that I just didn't see the same level of, like, I saw, like, the views kept going up, the views, fluctuate, and the subscriber count, goes up, but the comments that I'm getting are very few and far between now. Thankfully, a reduction in a lot of the, kind of bad actor, negative, like, comments that aren't constructive at all, but, like, also a complete almost lack of genuine discussion. I mean, there are a few posters almost every video who do have great questions, and they uh they, like, they post them, they post, like, their thoughts, and it's great, and I really appreciate those people. But for me, for the number of views in some cases, I think I'm, comparatively to what I would expect, maybe not seeing the same amount of discussion that I would either expect or want. And when I say discussion, I think that's really what I want to hone in on, in how I improve my delivery and my engagement with you, the viewers, my audience, whether you're subscribed or not, whether you're new or whether you've been watching me for a while. Some of you have been around for a very long time. I really, really appreciate your continued engagement with my content, and I'm very thankful for everybody who's here. And so I want to make it more worthwhile to you. I want you to feel like you can be a part of this. Like, I don't want to make it feel exclusionary, because that's the whole point. It's not. That's why I'm trying to share this with everybody, and that's why I continue to try and answer every comment that I can, and try to, figure out what the next best discussion might be. And even in the intro series, as I was making each video, going back and reading the comments and seeing what sort of things I might want to address in each following video for for the next topic, because that was why I provided the primer way in the beginning, and that's why I followed up everything from the original videos, that it's all out there and people were able to look at the whole thing completely before I had covered in-depth discussions, so that I could get some kind of thoughts ahead of time of like where people were at and what sort of things I needed to cover. But I'm seeing so much less engagement, so much less feedback, and the way that I view that is that I've somehow disincentivized people from doing that, and I want to try to dial back whatever I've done to give people that impression, because that's not my intention. That's not how I feel. That's not what I want. And for me, the things that I'm communicating, I'm doing so with the intention of being objective, with the intention of like somebody, I think somewhere somebody commented that my delivery was very dry. And part of that is intentional. Part of that is trying to keep this discussion academic, because there are so many like unnecessary dramatic tangents that we could go off on, and some of which I've even had to like cover briefly in order to explain some things. And part of it I've even gone in depth with Magic the Gathering, but while that kind of content can be interesting, a lot of it just I don't like, because of the way that it doesn't age well. It's not timeless. It's not a reason to keep coming back or a reason for it to exist. It's just a momentary like, oh, here's something that's happening in gaming news that's controversial, blah blah blah. Or and so when I was covering a lot of the Magic stuff, that's why I was getting into like primary sources and a lot of the historical stuff that's been explained by people on those original teams, because it was less important to me at the time to be covering things like the Magic 30th debacle, or like the way that the market was crashing, and in those discussions to really cover more of like the fundamentals of like why these things were happening and why Magic is the way it is. And for game design, it's so much more important to have an open discussion here. And part of what I really kind of want to maybe try and dial back on is that this is still an open, or not dial back on, but reinforce this part, dial back on me maybe veering from objectivity to or going from objectivity to confidence into arrogance. If someone feels that I've veered into that, trying to steer back, maybe towards confidence, a little more towards objectivity, and hopefully we'll get back, if we can, to just pure objectivity. But maybe not quite that far, because we still want to have some fun discussions. But I want people to feel like, again, like they can, like this is still an open forum, like they can be part of the discussion. Everything is still open for debate. That's the whole point. That's why I'm making these public in YouTube videos where you can comment and I'll respond. I want people not just to ask questions, but also to be critical where they can. If there's something that you feel is wrong, to bring it up. Don't feel like you can't. Don't feel like you can't post a comment that, trying to point out something that you perceive as wrong. That's really what I value almost the most, is people being critical. The problem originally was that people were being not quite critical, but just making ad hominem attacks. They were skipping over the critical part. They were skipping over the part they disagreed with and just trying to attack me. And that's not a way to have a discussion. But, simultaneously, it's not a way to have a discussion. And I hope this isn't what I've conveyed, but if I have, I definitely don't want to do this, to say that, I'm right and there's no more discussion. Like, what I'm saying is, I've spent, the last 5 years verifying this. But now it's time for everyone else to verify it for themselves. That's why it needs to be an open discussion. That's why it's still up for debate. The entire discovery of if everything, as far as I can tell, it's true, and as far as all the verifications have shown, it's true. So if this is the discovery of the definition of a game, then that means that there are no experts. That means this industry is entirely ad hoc, and everyone has just as much right to have an input as the next person. And that's the wonderful thing. It doesn't matter if you've never designed a game before. I want to hear your thoughts. If you are in the industry, you don't have to tell us. I would love to know. Certainly there are a number of commenters who are secretly in the industry. There have been some interesting discussions, but those people have a lot of other priorities that are, maybe conflicting with engaging in the discussion at the moment. But I would still love to hear from you. It doesn't matter what your level of education is. It doesn't matter what your level of involvement is. This is just as much for players as it is for designers. That's why the primer is so simple. This is something I want everybody to just know like the back of their hand. At some point, I would like everyone to just very readily remember what a game is, so that they can go to a store, look on a shelf at the things that are being marketed to them as games, and be able to look and see, does this actually look like a game? So maybe, using words like formal game theory is a mistake because it's daunting to players. But my intention in things like that, I think, were more to make players confident, so that they, now they can know formal game theory exists. It's real. We can actually, look at all of the things that these, AAA companies marketing these games that want all our money, like, we can assess what they're doing now and see, how does it stack up? How could they be doing this better? Maybe let's come up with some ideas and tell them. If you're a fan of one of those games, if you want to play it, or maybe it's existing and you do play it, and you can provide feedback to that design team. I Ideally, what I would want is for this to do nothing but good in the world. I would like there to be no points where the turn from not games to games ever causes anybody any discomfort or loss. Now, whether that's practical or actually going to happen, I don't know. I don't think I want to speculate on that, but I would, if I guess I kind of have to. There's probably a pretty good chance that there are a number of people that the collective acceptance of formal game theory might negatively affect. I'm guessing more at the company level and academic level too. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to make this video to try and level with everybody. That's what I think, that's what I want, and that's what I hope you all understand, is that I think I'm right, but I'm making this public so that we can all discuss this together and see whether or not I'm right. Now, and for me to present, to continue to both present the reasons and applications of those things, but always to be open to any genuine discussion, any discussion in earnest. No matter the question, if you're a player and you just want to know something simple, that's not, beneath me. Nothing is beneath me when it comes to games. I have a passion for game design. I love games. My brain just does it even when I'm not intentionally doing it. I can stop designing games, and at some point my brain will just start doing it on its own. That's how ingrained it is. And my job is to create things that bring fun to people. That's my reason for doing this. To improve the world, to nurture the world, to bring more happiness to the world, not to alienate people and, make them feel stupid or like they can't be part of the discussion, or like they need to have some college degree, or, need to have some credentials or something. Like, look back how many times I have responded to people who've tried to use the appeal to authority fallacy. Like, how ironic would it be if I, started, committing that against you, my viewers? I would not. I am not. And if I ever do, please let me know. So, with that, I'm going to close out the discussion here. I'm still working on some, right now, part of that is getting Mage War ready for printing. The artwork is starting to come in a little bit more. And so there's been some progress on that, and that's nice. Working on some other things too for second edition, some new ideas that I can still test out because we got some time here. And yeah, just still figuring out where I want to take the lesson videos. But you know, before I did that, I wanted to kind of get more in touch with the audience. And so I hope y'all post your comments and, you know, start, if you want to go back and post comments you thought you couldn't in past videos, feel free to. I'll still respond to them. And thank you again so much for watching. Hope you continue to. And if you want any particular topics covered, let me know. See you all in the next video.